Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Mike Armstrong podcast show. And this morning, I'm joined by Ela Staniak Leaupepe, and she runs a business called Feminine Leaders, and they do an unstoppable women's network in Sydney, but which has gone global since the pandemic. And we're going to have a little chat about business, lockdown, pivoting, networking, and all that sort of thing. How are you doing today? This evening, I should say, Ella. How's it going? You okay?
That's right, this evening. Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to talk to you today. We have so much to talk about.
Yes, definitely. Well, from the sounds of it, obviously we've met on LinkedIn, I think, or Facebook, one or the other. They're usually the two places I meet people,
Thank you.
other than on actually online networking events, of which I do a lot. I do about 6 to 10 a week during lockdown. But yeah, I
Wow.
love meeting other power networkers. And if you're running a network in Sydney and you're taking your business online, then you're another power networker, and us power networkers always got a lot to talk about. So yes, thanks for coming on my podcast today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. It's
Yeah,
going to be great.
brilliant. And what I've found has been fantastic during the lockdown period is that all of the power networkers who used to power network in their local area and have all gone online and found each other. Have you experienced that?
Oh, it's so true. I mean, I know that we unfortunately are dealing with such global crisis, and it is just absolutely devastating what is happening around the world. However, I am noticing for my own business and for many other businesses out there, and for people with passion who were thinking about starting something meaningful for a long time, this has been a great opportunity to broaden our horizons and to really get on board with the technological advancement and just go online.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Myself, I've been working from home for 8 years and leading the charge with that technical revolution of, being able to work from anywhere, working from the smartphone, getting on online and networking in the real world, all of that sort of stuff. And for me, it's fantastic, the coronavirus and pandemic, because it forced everyone else to join my routine rather than me having to sort of work around everyone else's, established fixed routine. So it's been amazing for me because all of a sudden I've gone from doing 2 or 3 events a week in the real world to doing like 6 to 10 online. And instead of them just being local, and I've gone further afield traveling and that, but like into London or into England and that, but now I can go anywhere in the world at any time I want to. And you're in Sydney, I'm in Wales, and we can have a conversation and connect people that we know and we've known for a long time. We can get them to meet each other and know each other, and that's the name of the game when you're in the connections business.
Oh, it's so true. I feel like in the last few years, I have done so much of educating people on how online delivery of coaching or connection is just as meaningful as face to face. I've done so much of nearly convincing others that doing the whole connection online is just an amazing avenue. It's an opportunity where, as you said, with the whole world going into the lockdown and us needing another avenue for connection, suddenly what once was an obstacle or a limitation suddenly became an opportunity to connect. So I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, brilliant. And we had a very short chat before sort of filming for those listening and watching on the YouTube channel. And obviously, you mentioned you run the Unstoppable Women's Network in Sydney and maybe wider Australia. And also, you mentioned obviously you're originally from Poland. Tell us a little bit about the Unstoppable Women's Network, what it was designed for, what it was created for, and a little bit about your journey about, moving from Poland, starting in Australia, and what you did to get to that stage of starting your own network.
Oh my gosh, where do we start? So look, I was born and grew up in Poland, hence the interesting accent.
Yeah.
I spent 2 years living in Ireland before I moved to Australia.
Okay. Which part?
I was in Leitrim, Carrick-on-Shannon.
Okay, okay. I belong to an Irish network, and they're all from North and Republic of Ireland. So, yeah, I know lots of Irish people. If you need to reconnect with some of those.
I think I would love to. Sure. I was living in a small town called Carrick-on-Shannon, so it's halfway in between Sligo and Dublin.
Okay, yeah.
Um, where were we? Right. So in 2010, I relocated to Australia and I straight away started studying fitness sports coaching. So really for the last 10, nearly 11 years, I have been in coaching space, first in fitness, and then into I became certified in wellness coaching, and then I just became obsessed about human psychology, human motivation, and so I studied, and I was just equally obsessed about business building. And my upbringing was quite difficult. I grew up with a father who had an alcohol problem, so really my mom was that rock and a glue to our family. And I watched my mom having a great career as a bookkeeper, and she was a great loving mother, and she had amazing cooking skills. So I just felt like my mom was such a great package. She had that motherly energy, the feminine, but also she was a go-getter. So she looked after our family, right? And
She was the woman that had it all and realized that you can have it all and still be happy.
well, the sacrifices came with it. So unfortunately, both of my parents passed away when I was a teenager.
Okay.
And ultimately, the stress of the relationship took a toll on my mother, and she passed away too when before I even turned 15. Now, from then I became quite adventurous. You can imagine a teenager just left to their own devices, and my half brother looked after me. But making long story short, I could really live my life on my own terms. So experiences are really important to me. So when I moved to Australia and I studied, and I met people from all over the world, and it was such an adventure to move from quite conservative place into suddenly this mix of cultures and religions and races. I was just mind blown. It was so fascinating. I think I am a little bit used to it now. It became a normality. But at first, I was just hungry for the experience of learning and knowing and connecting. So really, throughout my years working in fitness industry, I've noticed that I always worked with professional women. And even if weight loss was the main purpose why I would start working with them, I've noticed what I was really good at was the empowerment space. There was always more of confidence building. I've heard so many, um, untold stories really about relationship problems, femininity problems, career problems. And so I laugh sometimes that personal trainers are a little bit like psychologists, because you kind of hear it all. And having done so many also business mentoring programs and wanting to have a flexibility of having business, which I can do anywhere from anywhere in the world, um, and and wanting to have a flexibility in reaching people from all over the world. For the last really 3, 4, maybe even longer, 3, 4 years, I was really trying to build just that, a vehicle that provides flexibility and reach, a lot of freedom, I guess, I wanted in the empowerment, the transformation space.
Yeah.
So finally last year, I decided to launch my own network called Unstoppable Women's Network in Sydney, and it just boomed. It grew so quickly. Within months, we reached over 400 members, and the events, our monthly networking events, are really around bringing women from diverse backgrounds together. We come together, it's a non-judgmental space. And as I said, Sydney brings that multicultural aspect of things just in a very natural way. And we talk about feminine energy and power. We talk about business building, sales psychology, diversity and inclusion. We talk about anything with regards to personal and professional development. And so women can talk about what they want to achieve. They find themselves in a very supportive space. I bring on different speakers and experts in different fields. It's been absolutely amazing. And towards the end of my pregnancy, I decided to take a few months break, and this is when pandemic happened. So as I said, we are not, before we started, we are now taking that space to a global level, global reach, thanks to our online devices and online platforms. So it's just a natural thing to do.
Yeah, brilliant, brilliant. So now you're doing online Zoom events, and you've got an online Facebook group and that sort of thing.
Funny you ask. So in June this year, my Facebook accounts were hacked and disabled.
Okay.
So after years of building my businesses on Facebook, I lost pretty much nearly 20,000 followers overnight.
Yeah.
So it will be now a matter of rebuilding. So what I have at the moment is a meetup group. So there is a platform called Meetup where you can just download an app and you can tick your interests there, and you will be automatically connected to different local networking groups that there are.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're in the process of rebuilding Facebook presence.
Yeah, good, good, good. What I was going to say was, so there's an important lesson in there. There's somebody who has done a lot of social media marketing for a long time as well, and I've lost some accounts as well. I always do every external tool that I use as a driver to my wholly owned assets, yeah, which is your website and your domain. Yeah. So even if you build a community, whatever platform you are, and that's an active community, you should always look at how can I get that community engaged with me and have ownership of that community. Yeah. So how do I get them interacting with my website? How do I get them on my list, my database? Yeah. All that sort of thing. So just because you mentioned it, I thought I'd give a little bit of advice on that, to people listening, because that's something, I've got loads of assets out there in the real world. They're like salespeople. They're out great assets for you, but you need the salesperson to bring them to the business and not just keep the relationship with the salesperson, because the salesperson goes somewhere else, then he takes the customer with him, and you lost out. And obviously you don't own the salesperson. So, that's how people need to prepare in the future. You've learned that lesson now. Well done. It's one that comes harsh and it comes, to a lot of people. But ultimately, the more you can spread your risk, if you like. So that's the reason I use every social media platform under the sun, and I build groups in all of them. And so as I've lost certain things, it doesn't really matter, because I've got multiples of them and I've got protection. And actually just talking into that as well, with all of your content, because I do a lot of content marketing as well, I have that backed up. I have all my content in Dropbox files and in email lists and everywhere, so I can access it from anywhere in the world. And also it's all backed up and it's in the cloud in several clouds, So I can see you nodding. You've learned some of these lessons, but these are lessons I like to teach people, because I've been around the block for a long time and I've seen them, etc. But moving back onto your networking then, so tell us a little bit about how the online events are shaping and what you're doing and that.
Yeah, so I have done different online events. I've done online webinars. I've done things like small group sessions. I've done bigger sessions when I had 50, 60 participants in them. So what I do is I just use Zoom for those sessions so far, and it is working out absolutely amazing. Obviously now with everything going online, I'll be, as you said, using different platforms to still drive people to the same Zoom room.
Yeah. And are you doing one chat with everyone, or are you doing breakouts? How's that going?
Yeah. So there are components where everybody is in one Zoom room. Whenever we want to bring either content or a conversation to everyone, but yeah, we allow people to do work in breakout rooms, because that's what networking is about.
Yeah, definitely. So I like a combination of the both of the sort of everyone in one room and get to pitch, a couple of minutes to everyone. I also like the breakouts. Again, little Zoom tip as well. I like it when networks allow you to open the direct chat to each other as well, and not just turn that off like some do. Because actually, that's when you can actually have those one-on-one chats and do that, the proper one-to-one networking, which needs to happen one-to-one or in the follow-up after, because, you need to find out, what people's problems are in order to be able to offer them a solution.
Oh, so true. You want to connect with number one primary intention of networking is connection.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
people so often are worried about sales, but what we really want to do is actually build meaningful long-term relationships.
Yeah. So I'm all about. I'm actually an award-winning networker in Wales. I won Network of the Year 2018 in Wales' biggest and best network. So I'm the best networker in the best network. And since then, I've been nationally networking because I'm like the best networker in Wales. So I've been going to England and saying I'm the best networker in Wales, and going to Ireland and saying I'm the best networker in Wales, and connecting the Irish and the English to my network, and vice versa. And then since the pandemic, I've done exactly what you've done and got to look globally, because I just thought, well, this is the time. And all of a sudden, the events that I used to go to locally are now global events anyway. The ones in England and Ireland are now global events anyway. They're predominantly England and Irish and Wales still, but they attract some global, and it'll just keep snowballing, just like yours will be predominantly Aussie, but then they'll just attach some more people to it, and eventually it'll turn global. And then once I see the global events, obviously your one I can't do because of the women's events, but actually I am a member of I told you before about the fact that a friend of mine runs IWOW, which is Inspirational Women of the World, and you're doing Unstoppable Women, so there's definitely a collaboration, or you should get to know each other for you guys. Another friend of mine, Mark Jarrett's got 140 WhatsApp groups. I probably got somewhere in the region of 100 Facebook groups. He's got 140 WhatsApp groups. One of them is Virtual Power Women or something like that. I can't remember the name of it. But I'm a member of that one because you can join the group if you invite other power networkers who are women to it. And obviously Mark let me join like nearly all of his groups because I'm a power networker, so I can add people in there for him. And the whole idea of these WhatsApp groups, just like Facebook groups, is that people in certain niches can get to know each other, do business together, collaborate, and all of that. So I'll introduce you to Tracy Smolinski, who runs Wales' biggest business network, the one of which I won the award in, and I'm an ambassador of. So I'll introduce you to Tracy and get you into the IWOW group. I'm sure she'll want to join your Unstoppable Women's group as well. And I can get you to speak to Mark Jarrett about how you can get into the power networking women's WhatsApp group, and what other niches may be of relevance to you out of his 140. I've also met another power networker in America, in California, Robert Butwin, who is a friend of mine now. He's basically like an older version of me. We're like twins separated at birth. We're on the same mission of paying it forward, connecting people, online networking, speaking, all that sort of stuff. So I'll introduce you to him as well. And ultimately that's what I do. I connect people together and help people. And I don't really look for anything back from it. It's not about that for me. I like to help people because I can. And I think the universe will sort out the whether I get anything back for it or not, whether I deserve it. So that's the way I look at it. But so it's been great getting you on and offering you, those connections, which I know will be, massive for you,
Thank you so much. I just feel like Christmas came early for me this year. That's really amazing. It's just, I cannot wait. I just find this so exciting. The vision of what the online connection can serve for all of us. As you said, those words snowball. I just know that wherever we are going to be in 12, 18, 24 months in terms of connection, we will not even recognize where we were a year or 2 years before that. So
that's right. Yeah, I told you a little bit before we come on about the fact I've got a map on the wall of the world, and I'm sticking red pins in, and you're going to be my red pin for Sydney. I've got 3 pins from yesterday I haven't put in yesterday. There was North Carolina, Philadelphia, and somewhere else. I'll have to try and recap now, but there were 3 new ones yesterday. But I'm so busy doing podcasts and then marketing the podcast and then all the other stuff that I do, I don't have time to get up and go to the wall and put some pins in it. But I'm excited to put the pins in it, but I just have to. Now I've got 4 I've got to put in, so I'm going to do it at some point today when I get time. But I'm like back to back with Zoom calls and podcasts and stuff like that, because I'm on a mission to become a global speaker. and I want to do it as quickly as possible. So the more people I can connect with and help in some way, the more they'll think of me and go, oh yeah, we need a speaker, or I know so-and-so needs a speaker, or, this is it's how it works, it's collaborations and stuff. And I love helping people, and ultimately, if you have got a goal and you've got a dream, my goal and dream is to help as many people on the planet. And that's why I want to become a global speaker, because I know I'll be able to help more people then, because more people have heard of me, So, and my podcast is, I've got loads of like networking tips and advice, and sales and marketing tips and advice, and social media tips and advice on my podcast. And then I get fantastic entrepreneurs on as well to showcase what they're doing, and to showcase positivity and positive mental attitude and collaboration and all of those skills which younger entrepreneurs need to learn when they go networking, so that they get more out of it.
Oh, totally. Networking is just such a powerful aspect of our, not only business, but also our existence. I think we one of our basic human needs is a sense of love and connection and belonging. And so we all, in one way or another, we need to feel like we belong. And so in business world, networking provides just that. But also in our personal lives, we need to have the support network, whether it's close family or friends, to simply know that our survival needs are met. So yeah, as you said, it's just going to be amazing to see where the world goes very soon, within a year or two.
Yeah, definitely. And you started out in the health sector and then moved into the business. I started out in business and have moved slightly towards the health sector as well. So that's interesting. We've sort of got crossed opposite paths, if you like, whilst also being in the networking sectors. We've got quite a lot in common there. And I've always been into the psychology of sales. I'm into sales and marketing, and the psychology of people, and solution selling and all of that. And you gravitated towards that after doing the fitness and realizing that actually fitness, anything in life generally, it goes down to the psychology first. It's getting the brain right, because it doesn't matter what you teach anybody. If their mentality is wrong, they'll just go in one ear out the other, and they won't do anything with it. You've got to want to learn. You've got to want to improve, and you've got to want to take in the information and do something about it, because we all have information. We all know how to do lots of things, but we don't actually do it. Yeah, we only do the things that we get excited by, or we get inspired by, or whatever. And most people don't get inspired or excited by anything, which is why they just go through 40 years, 50 years of a career in something boring, retire and die. You know what I mean? That's what most people do, because they're uninspired. You know what I mean? But to want to get fit, to want to be successful in business, to want to grow and develop, it all comes starting off with the mentality and the passion and the inspiration to want to do that.
Yeah, unfortunately, what happens for most of us is that we work the jobs which we don't enjoy, and we spend the money on things that really don't matter, the money that we really work hard for. And we often try to impress people which don't add a lot of value to our lives. And what I've learned in the last decade of coaching is that whether you want greater results in your business, your health, or your relationships, what is really stopping you is that deep sense of self-doubt. If you don't just have what you want, it is because on a deep level, whether you can acknowledge it or not, there is a sense of either fear or thinking, am I good enough to achieve this? Or am I lovable enough? Or am I good enough? Am I worthy? Am I good enough? Or am I lovable? So I love to bring that awareness to what I call my feminine leadership method, but also I created self-leadership scale. So in the elements of self-leadership scale, I talk about 7 different steps to achieving that self-leadership. So whether I go to a workplace and talk about sales psychology or professional development or resilience and performance, or whether I work with a CEO or executive or a business owner, any form of decision-making level role, and I notice a level of disempowerment there or lack of leadership, the steps are the same.
Yeah.
A person needs to know that their goals align with their values, integrity, and their identity meets just that.
Yeah.
So for me, yes, I got there through health. I got there through fitness.
Yeah.
And now I just bring the same knowledge of coaching, empowerment, yes, achieving different goals, yes, creating structure, but also aligning our energy. And in my field, it's that feminine energy with our strengths. So it's just amazing to see how transformative it is to help one person to believe in themselves, have clarity on what they want, and see their horizons just broadening and widening. Because a person who believes in themselves is an absolute unstoppable force. And it just happens that for me, logically, if I can work with CEOs, executives, and business owners and influence them, I know that they will create amazing, expanding, thriving work environments for the employees.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, if I can work with employees and help them achieve their genius zone, so they actually belong to a work environment that they love and want to contribute to, I think we have a winning game here.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I've created 2 formulas myself during lockdown, which I'm going to teach and speak about and educate on and create online content for, and all of that sort of stuff during the lockdown period. And they were the happiness formula, which is a 5 or 7 step formula to keep you happy on a daily basis, which takes in a lot more fitness and energy and holisticness and that sort of thing, which is why I say I've gravitated more that way after being in business all my life. But I've also got a 7-step success formula. Yeah. So I'm interested in finding out a little bit more about your 7 steps, and then I'll tell you a little bit about mine.
Yeah, that would be amazing. So I was inspired to create the self-leadership scale purely to bring awareness to the clients who I am working with of where they are at.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, the reason why we feel stuck, unable to move forward or have what we want, it's because we are unaware of what is really stopping us. Or sometimes we are aware of what needs to be done, yet we don't do all the things that we're supposed to or should be doing in order to achieve the outcomes, whether it's business or our personal life. So do you want to know what my 7 steps are?
I do, yes. I'm intrigued.
Amazing. So the first step is lostness. So this is a step where a person is just in a situation that is full of discomfort, often unhappy, they are unhappy, but also they are unaware of why things in certain area of their life, if it's business or personal, is just not going well. So there is just a sense of sadness and disempowerment, right? Now, the next step, number 2, is disempowerment. This is when a person gains an awareness that things need to change and what needs to change, yet they do not feel empowered enough to take certain steps to move forward. The third step is empowerment. And this is where we can not only the third step is awareness. So not empowerment, that's the second last. Cross that out, please.
That's all right. Don't worry about that, you know.
Yeah,
Sometimes people take steps out of order. That's just the way it goes. Sometimes you want to do one step then the other, you know.
Let's stick to the structure, right? So the awareness is really knowing that things need to change, but also wanting to change.
Yeah.
So this is really important. And the reason why this is really important is because the 4th step is the readiness. And that's where I am noticing that people stay in stage 4 to 5, so readiness to take action, for this reason. This is the space where I know what I'm supposed to be doing, but I am not doing it just yet.
Okay, yeah, sounds good so far. Yeah, and then number 5.
So this is when we have implementation. So I am ready to take action and I am taking action.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So
right.
action.
And I just want to once again say, like, between 4 and 5, some people even stay in that space for years. This is why it's important to know that we all go through different readiness steps to actually move forward and progress.
I suppose the awareness and the readiness steps is a lot of education and learning sometimes, you know. So before taking the action. Sometimes people like to learn too much, which if they took the action, they would learn more quicker.
And exactly, and this is what we call personal growth.
Yeah.
And in spiritual world, a lot of people call it the dark night, where you're doing so much of what we call hard work. You're just learning and implementing. You have all those breakthroughs and you see clearly and you feel like you're expanding, yet you feel that resistance of the external environment. It's like you're doing so much work, but you don't see tangible results just yet. That's why it's really hard.
Yeah.
In that stage of 4 to 5.
Yeah. And once they've done the implementation, we're up to the 6th level. We're nearly at the top. Penultimate step.
And this is where we gain empowerment. And we gain empowerment because we can finally see the results of our growth. Now our consciousness begins to expand. This is where we really move from a stage of being at effect to the cause. So we are realizing that the results come sometimes over an extended period of time of investing so much more resources, time, effort, money, you name it, to achieve the outcomes that we wanted. And finally, the last stage is self-leadership. This is a stage of a complete empowerment, taking responsibility for everything in our life, understanding the world of quantum physics, understanding our energy, understanding human behavior often, being appreciative of ourselves, loving ourselves. Oftentimes in this stage, we actually have quite a good health level, the career that we want, and the love relationships that we want. We feel like we have created everything that we have worked for in our life. I would really encourage those who are listening today is to understand that to get to that self-leadership stage, it's a journey. And wherever you are in the process, just appreciate where you are at. Appreciate that it's the lessons which allow us to achieve personal and professional growth. And what self-leadership is truly is the journey of falling in love with yourself, appreciating the human being who you are, and understanding that if you have a vision or a goal, there is nothing stopping you from achieving it.
Yeah, great. That's a message that I like to leave with people, is that whatever it is that they want to do in life, they can do it, which is why my podcast is called You Can Do It, because whatever it is, it can be done.
I'm going to give you a tip that I'm hoping will be a tip of the day for everybody.
Okay, yeah.
Did you know that our brain only creates images and the pictures of ideas that our mind already deep down there believes we can have and achieve?
Yeah, I learned that off either Brian Tracy or Think and Grow Rich, one or the other.
Correct.
Yeah, your brain can only conceive what your body can achieve, I think is a sentence that sticks in my head somewhere.
Something like that, something along those lines.
Yeah, definitely.
I just find this super empowering.
It's a great tip. Yeah, so if you actually if you can vision something, then it is possible that it can be created. There's nothing can stop you, because the actual fact that you visualized it means it's possible. Yeah. And yeah. And do you want me to go through mine?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So
waiting.
So the SMART happiness formula is basically a scientific program, a daily ritual, which if you did every day is guaranteed to make you more happier. It's called SMART. So it's the SMART happiness formula. And the SMART stands for sleep. Make sure you have your 7 to 8 hours sleep a night. Yeah. Meditation or mindfulness. Yeah. Make sure you clear your brain and reset it, like you have to with your laptop every now and then. So it's like chilled out and reset. So half an hour a day, is enough really, of mindfulness or meditation. Ability to perform, which for me covers exercise, nutrition, and hydration. They're the 3 pillars of your sustained ability to perform. Yeah. Random acts of kindness, which reduces oxytocin and helps the world become a better place. and target setting, target achievement, or goals, as a lot of people would say them. But I needed to be T for smart. So yeah, and obviously a lot of people have long, big goals, but they don't have short-term daily goals. And if you give yourself short-term daily goals and hit them and achieve them, and it makes you feel happier, because human beings like to achieve, they like to, and also it gives you anticipation of looking forward to achieving. So basically, all of those things are scientifically proven that each on their own make you happier.
I love your formula. It's so powerful, and I love it because it's simple, it's doable, but powerful. The effects of every single step are just next level powerful.
Well, the idea of being smart is keeping it simple, stupid. The kiss
Love it, of
theory. Yeah,
course.
yeah. And ultimately, I know it works because I've spent most of my life operating around smart, but not 100%, not being as smart as I could be. Yeah. And what I realized is during the lockdown is I started being smart, and I actually started living the formula that I'm now an educating. So I'm living proof that it works, because I've been the happiest person I can be during lockdown, because I've been doing the smart process. And so what I'm saying to most people is most people are doing 70, 80, some are doing 40, 50% of smart, some are doing 70, 80. It's very rare is somebody doing all 100% every day. But if they can get a routine in their life where they can be smart and they can manage a routine around happiness, around their normal routine, then they're going to be the happiest then that they can be forever. And that's my prediction. So I created these formulas new. I haven't had lots of people try them yet, but that's my mission, is to get lots of people to try them and to tell me how happy they are. And I know that it'll work for them, So because it can't not, you can't do all of those things, have a good sleep, meditation, look after your ability to perform with, hydrating yourself properly, good balanced nutritional diet and exercise. Yeah. Do random acts of kindness, lots of it, but do at least one a day. But I do as much as I can, and then set yourself lots of achievable targets on a daily basis and keep smashing them. And there's just no way you could ever not be happier.
It's impossible not to.
It's
It would be
impossible. Yeah, exactly. It's impossible. So that's what I'm going to be teaching the world and writing books on and seminars and all of that.
I love it. You
Yeah.
must.
Yeah, I will. And then actually, when I created that formula, my brain was still creating and coming up with clever stuff. And so it lent into the Streams success formula, which, because a big part of happiness to me is success as well, is achievement. So leading on from that target setting, target achievement is then, okay, what does success look like? Because success is a big part of happiness for me, but it's also, it's a big subject matter. Success, how to become successful is a whole nother topic. So I come up with what I consider to be the 7 pillars of success. Yeah. They're what I've invested all my life in. They're what I value in. I've been pretty consistent and successful through my life. Yeah. And they're what come out of me. They're the inspiration that come out of me when I started thinking about success. And so they are systems, technology, relationships, efficiency, action, marketing, and sales. So they're what I consider to be the 7 pots that you need to fill up through your life to become successful. Yeah. And if you keep working on those 7 areas, you will become more successful. So the success on its own, though, you could be successful, but have burnout and die of a heart attack and all of that because you haven't looked after yourself. Yeah. So if you actually combine the smart with the streams, I call the success formula streams, it's what I consider to be elite business performance formula. Yeah. Do it together and it gives you long-term success forever.
I love it. I love it. You just nailed it. Nailed it all.
Yeah. And that's called smart streams.
It just all intertwines and works well together. It flows.
Yes.
It all flows.
Smart streams, the tagline is smart streams will put you into full flow.
Beautiful. And I love the flow because it's one of the main traits of feminine energy.
Yeah. Well, flow is, if you can get into flow. Have you been in full flow in your life where literally you're like a ninja and you can like overview like when you're doing what you're inspired to do and getting stuff done, and you're high energy, and you've got mindfulness, and you've got exercise and well-balanced diet, and so you're not flagging anyone. Once you're like 100% optimal, and you're purring like a Ferrari engine, yeah, then all of a sudden you become a ninja in what you do. Now, I've been in and out of that flow state, several times in my life. And so this is what I say gets you into that full flow state. And there are some people who never experienced the full flow state. But, if you're doing what's in line with your core values, yeah, and your inner being, have you ever listened to Dr. John DeMartini?
Yes.
I love Dr. John DeMartini. He's one of my favorites speakers of all time, educators of all time. And so, I study the best people on the planet in the areas that I want to be the best person on the planet in. Yeah. So I want to be the best person on the planet in the area of psychology, physiology, sales, marketing, all my areas, all the areas I teach in. I want to be the best person on the planet because I'm ambitious and I'm a grower and I like to learn. And I just why would I stop anywhere else other than where the end point was? So I listen to all of the best, all of the greats, Brian Tracy, Les Brown, Sharon Lecter, Robert Kiyosaki, John DeMartini, Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins. I listen to them all. I've read over 14 books during the lockdown period.
Oh, you have been keeping yourself busy, my friend.
Yeah, I've done over 580 episodes on my podcast too.
Oh, wow. So you're doing 3 a day at least.
Yeah. I'm now targeting 10. I started off 1 a day, then quickly up to 3 a day, but I'm targeting 10 now. But I also did a 75-day challenge, which was be on a diet, 2 exercises a day, no alcohol, gallon of water, and 10 pages from an educational book, yeah, for 75 days. But I did that after doing my own lockdown challenge for 3 months. So actually, I've been on a sort of 6-month challenge since the start of lockdown.
I love it. Congratulations. That just goes to show how persistent, consistent, and committed you are. And I know that the reason why so many of us struggle with achieving the flow or never experience it, or unfortunately might not be able to achieve our goals, it's because it doesn't really come down to creating or adopting the greatest challenge or a formula, but being able to sustain the results, being able to sustain the commitment, being able to do this long term.
Yeah. Well, I used to be a sales director and I used to manage a sales team. So like you said, when you were a fitness person, you become like a psychologist, if you like. I become like a parent. I was a parent to 17 crazy salespeople, and I was psychologist, provider, babysitter, taxi driver, entertainer. You have to be all things to all people sometimes to keep the team going and pushing in the same direction, etc. And so, a lot of what I teach now is what I've learned over a lifetime of learning. 30 years I've been an entrepreneur since I was 11, and that's why I've got a podcast with so many episodes, and I'm just getting started, what I mean, with sharing the information. Yeah, what I mean, it's just I'm only 4, 5, 6 months in, you wait until 6 years in, and I'll have 6,000 episodes rather than 600, and because I've got a lot of stuff I want to share with people and teach and information, and I'm constantly learning more, so it's never going to run out because I'm learning off the best people and resharing it, reusing it, etc. So yeah, I love what you're doing with your 7 steps, and because it resonates a lot with me. I think we've had similar past lives, if you like, like I say, we crossed over two divides, but we've gone from different directions to the other side.
We have, yes.
Yeah, but we've also as well kept that networking. So, I might set up my own network one day, but I'm an ambassador of Wales's biggest and best network anyway. And I've got lots of other online networks and LinkedIn pods and all sorts of different strategies for connecting with people and staying connected with them. So yeah, if I can help you in any way with that, great. I'd love to keep talking with you because there's lots of my guests I go into hour and a half and 2 hours. They tend to be the end of the day though, because I've got another one booked in at 10 o'clock, and he's been sat waiting since about 1:45, so I don't know why. He wasn't due to come on until 10, but he's been sat there waiting in the waiting room.
Very eager to talk to you.
So yeah, someone's very eager, but it's been fantastic getting you on and talking about what you do. I see us connecting a lot more than just this. So this is the start of a budding relationship because I love the power networkers. You know, to me that is like heaven. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, swapping names and stuff. We've already got a couple now. Like I say, bear me in mind if ever you see any opportunities in Australia for any online events and they want to get someone on who can talk sales, marketing, networking, all of that sort of thing. And connect with me on social media. I'll connect with you. I'll like and comment on your posts. If you can do the same for mine, that actually helps our messages go further and wider. So it's all about reach. I've got 3 LinkedIn accounts with about 15,000 followers on, so 5,000 on each one. So you know, if once I see your messages and stuff, I'll share it to my audience because I'm all about let's grow together.
Exactly, and I'll do the same. So expect a lot of tagging from me. I will tag you and introduce you to some of the powerful networkers in my network. It will be on LinkedIn mostly now.
Yeah.
Since Facebook disappeared magically into thin air. But
Because
yeah, of
anyone who
course.
wants to do business in the UK, anyone, because obviously my original network is UK based, anyone who's looking to connect and meet people in the UK, they want to grow UK wide, all of that sort of thing, which obviously I guess there'd be a lot of people in Australia, you know, as likewise, you know, Australia is a good partner for the UK, etc. So yeah, and obviously anyone in Poland, anyone you know who wants to, you know, reach the UK, Wales in particular, Ireland, because I actually belong to a group in Ireland. You check this out, Your Holistic Academy. Speak to John, who runs it. It's basically Irish entrepreneurs in the holistic space. It's like an academy. It's Your Holistic Academy. You can actually promote yourself on there to all of the holistic community that this academy has been built for. And a lot of my network in Ireland, half of them are business people, one half of what you've moved into and where I started, and half of them are holistic people where I've moved into and where you come from. So that network would be great for you. And they have 3 events a week, which are free. The only problem is they're 11 o'clock in the morning. That'll be fine for you. It's evening. They're 11 o'clock. They're a problem for Americans because it's midnight, because they're 11 till 12:15 in the UK time. But that would be nighttime for you. So there's 3 events there. It's called The Outstanding Network.
Mm-hmm.
The Outstanding Network is free. And if you join the Facebook group, which is called The Outstanding Network, there's a link in there on how you can go on to the online events.
Excellent.
They're all basically holistic coaches or business coaches, or, you know, there's a lot of coaches in there. And John runs the Your Holistic Academy, which is a platform for anyone in the fitness, health, holistic space.
Amazing. This is so exciting. Thank you so much. I've got all the notes.
Yeah, another one is Sue Worrell as well. Sue Worrell. SUEWORRAL, and she runs the Health Hub Academy. And they got a free Facebook group as well, and they share lots of health and fitness information. So John and Sue are doing the same thing, but John's doing it from Ireland and Sue from Wales. And they're both putting a lifetime of information about the health and wellness sector into their academies, and they're looking for partners. And you would be great for both of those platforms.
Thank you. That's so amazing. What has just happened?
Yeah.
That's so great. That's fantastic.
Yeah, brilliant. So I'm going to go now because I got to get off this call and up again, ready for 10 o'clock. But it's been a blast, and it's been fab speaking with you. And I look forward to seeing your content as we sort of start building the web around our connections.
Totally. Thank you so much. It's been such an honor and so much fun talking to you. I can totally see your vision. I feel your vision. It's amazing. And I know that we'll together snowball into massive network and ultimately connecting people and serving them with the strength that we have and the mission and the vision that we have. So let's do it.
Brilliant. Awesome. Fantastic. Have a great evening, and I'll catch up with you again soon.
Thank you. Enjoy your next one.
Thank you. Bye-bye. And there's nothing else left to say other than have a great day. I know I will. And thanks very much for listening. Cheers. Bye.